up? I got Noskin here with me. This ain't a diss song, but yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all niggas cheese whiz. Pittsburgh Steelers, that's nothing. That Super Bowl ring, that's nothing. Pull up in your town when you.
Shawn, did you say anything or give any instruction to JK before that last punt?
No, we just talked through the scenario of, what would happen if they, left our gunners uncovered and stuff, and just talked about the punt direction and stuff. It really was just kind of coaching everybody else up. And we always talk leading into the punt, which direction we think is going to be best and stuff. But really, I'd let him do his thing after that and stuff. So there wasn't a lot before that other than just what direction we're going to go for him.
You saw everybody come in like that. Does that change what he does or how he's going to punt the ball?
No, not really. I mean, because we talked about the scenario where we're going to bring our guys in and stuff to max protect essentially and stuff. So for him, he knew he was protected and stuff. So he didn't feel like he had to rush anything. He was just, he went out and hit a great ball and helped flip the field and stuff. So no, he wasn't really worried about that.
Is his style, from what you've seen, is it orthodox? Unorthodox the way just.
I think he's a pretty traditional, pure punter. You know what I mean? He doesn't get the elevation like some guys do. He leaves his foot on the ground, which is kind of the newer style of you see guys that don't lift up off the ground and stuff. But he works really, really hard on his technique and his drop, and he's very fundamentally sound and takes great pride in that and stuff. And that's something we work on every day with him. And for him, I mean, it's all about his drop and his steps and those kind of things. And he's very pure with what he does and tries to really focus on that.
Aaron called him one of the most interesting guys in the locker room yesterday. Beside his ability to punt, what makes him kind of like an interesting person? He's
just really cares about everybody. Takes a genuine interest. I mean, he's as genuine a guy as you're ever going to find. I mean, cares about everybody and is trying to help others. And I think he just has a really good heart and just tries to help others and just takes an interest in other people around him. I mean, you'll see him on the road. We can just kind of watch him and stuff. He'll talk to, just talk to everybody that he meets in the hotel and those kind of things and stuff, and just takes an interest in everybody. So again, a great person.
We hear a lot about that year two jump for offensive and defensive players. Can that be the case for a punter too, to see big growth from year one in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime the more experience you get, I mean, experience is your greatest teaching. I mean, you can practice things and you can go through it, but until you actually experience things in a game, good and bad, I think you learn from everything and stuff. And I think he's constantly evaluating himself and, analyzing and then, making himself better each and every game. So I think the more experience he gets, the better he's going to be, just with anybody.
I think one penalty, how the rest of the units function, personnel now kind of getting solidified.
Yeah, I thought we went out and played hard. We, played fast was what we really wanted to talk about, utilize our speed. And I thought guys stepped up and made plays, in key situations we covered well. And, we talked about they have two of the best, most dynamic returners in the league. And we talked really about Mason and JK of trying to help eliminate those guys. It really starts with our specialists. Mason hitting all touchbacks, helped eliminate Patterson and stuff, which is a key. And he really played well. And then, JK obviously punted well and had 5 inside the 20 and stuff and helped flip the field a lot. So it really started with those guys, but then everybody else stepped up around them in the protection and the coverage. So I was really proud of our guys and encouraged by that first game.
What was the process like for BJ to come in when he did, but then also be ready to perform on your group? So was it strictly just here's the playbook, or how did that work, or was there similarities?
We met for a long time on Friday after he got in, and then again we spent a lot of time with him, especially on Friday, and then just before the game, and in the meetings in the hotel and on the road and those kind of things. Thursday I'm messed up on my days. The day before, the day we traveled, the day before we got here and traveled, we spent a lot of time with him there, especially telling him exactly what his role was going to be on each of the units and just kind of coach him up on the specific things. And, and then through the hotel meetings and those kind of things, just spending some extra time with him. And he's a good pro. I mean, he took good notes and, his experience showed, and, he's definitely going to be able to help us.
Was it much of a curveball when you lose James, who seemed like he's going to kind of be a core guy for you, then at the last minute you don't have him anymore?
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of the life of special teams, I mean, it's one of those where you just got to be flexible, and we've talked through a whole bunch of personnel scenarios. So if you lose a guy, even due to injury, we're going to move this guy to here and just have different plans and stuff. So, Mo and Renee and I had spent a lot of time going through those scenarios of, things that could happen, and then we just kind of plug guys in at different spots and practice them in different spots. So that's kind of the nature of the business right now. But, it was a curveball, but we managed well.
Shawn, getting back to that last punt real quick, nobody had more punts in week 1 than JK at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So when a guy's kicked that much, is there any worry that in that situation at the end of a game that, any fatigue or any whether it's physical or mental sets in?
No, I think he trains and he takes great care of his body, and I think, through the week we get so many punts a week and stuff to kind of condition him for those kind of things. So I think just too, he's a good pro, and the adrenaline and those kind of things, I would never worry about that. I think that should never be a factor.
Mentally though, you can't simulate a situation like that in practice, really.
No, but again, I think him just being mentally strong, and he's very, very focused and very dialed in. Just when it's go time during our punt periods and during the game, he's extremely focused on what we're trying to do, and again, he's mentally strong. I would never worry about that.
What's the challenge this week? I think for years it's always been Sherrill's. Obviously he's not there. They brought on a new punter before the start of the season. What have you seen from those guys?
Right. Good core that has been together. They got a good group of linebackers, Wilson, Gideon, and Brothers. Ham, the fullback, has been there. All these guys are in their 3rd or 4th year of playing together. J-Ron Curse, a whole host of guys that are good special teams guys that know the tricks of the trade, play extremely hard. Dan Bailey's been there, 86.6 career, percentage and stuff, is a good kicker. And then, I worked with Britton Colquitt in Cleveland. Again, true pro, a 10-year guy and stuff. He's one of the best there is and stuff, good directional punter, and does a great job. And I know Marwan will have his guys playing hard and be out ready to go. So it's, again, another great challenge. And each week is a challenge in and of itself and stuff. But that group's been together for a while and have played together and are confident.
That black punt that they had, was that just a breakdown by the Falcons, or did the Vikings do something schematically that you need to keep an eye on?
A little bit. They created a schematic problem. They basically sent an overload to one side and stuff that, Atlanta didn't end up picking up very well and stuff. But it was a good scheme by Marwan and stuff, and they had a guy come free and stuff. And again, it was the first punt of the season and kind of helped create that momentum. They went 3 and out. And then blocked that punt and stuff, and then they went down and scored right after that to kind of keep the momentum going.
Shawn, it looked like you guys have had a pretty good, healthy rotation with the gunners that you've used so far. Is that a core philosophy with you, or is that more of a reflection of just the personnel in terms of how you kind of circle those guys?
I think besides the battery of the snap and punt and starting with JK and leaving giving us a chance to hang the ball up, if you've got good gunners in this league. Because guys are always going to rotate in on defense or offense and those kind of things. But the more gunners you have, I think the better off your punt team's going to be. Because those guys, if they get singled up, we always say you should win that matchup and force a fair catch. And even if you're getting doubled, if you can beat the vice and go down there and force fair catches, your punt team's going to be, because it all starts outside. Those guys are the guys that can free release and get down the field fastest and first. So if you've got a good group of guys and go out there, which we feel like we do, I think that helps your punt team always.
Please. Shawn, why is Adrian Amos on your coverage units as opposed to maybe another backup player that you might have?
Just the way, punt, Adrian's practiced with us, and he's in all the meetings and things, especially on punt. He's got experience as a PP, which is just like the quarterback of it's the quarterback of your punt team. So, we've got some guys that play there and stuff, but just the way the personnel worked out, and the way things were shaken out, I felt comfortable with him being the PP, and we moved some guys around, just, again, moving some guys around, put the guys in the best positions possible for the coverage and for protections. We felt like Adrian was the best, and he went down and had 2 tackles and stuff. So, besides playing, 70-plus snaps. So, again, that's a tribute to him, being dialed in and going down and making plays for us and stuff.
So, I just love my team. Yeah, that's the team with them big G's on the helmet.